Wedding Film School live Thursday at a little afternoon this time, Central at least, 1 p.m. Eastern. That's what we usually call it. Some are saying this is the best Wedding Film School live stream in existence. And my name is Bobby. I'm joined today by Jay, as always. Jay, how you doing?
I'm doing really good. Almost done with this crazy year.
Almost too good.
Almost too good. Almost too good.
I love it.
Getting ready to go to Vegas, do some work. Two more weddings. Keep adding them. Jared called me the other day. He's like, "Do you want to do a wedding on New Year's Eve?" I'm like, "Sure."
Sure.
I will.
That's a throwaway holiday. You know what I mean?
Okay, can we just talk about New Year's Eve for a second?
All right. Do it.
I hate New Year's
right off
Eve.
the bat.
I hate New Year's Eve. Like, for the basic concept of the holiday, from an ethical standpoint, is absurd to me, which is that now I'm going to try to be a good person or something, that anything magical happens. But then in terms of the actual celebration of time progressing, it's like, are we really celebrating our death? Like marching closer to our...
Fair.
All we're celebrating is time progressing, an arbitrary date that someone made up. But the real reason that I'm not a big fan of New Year's Eve, and hi, how are you, Katie? Hopefully,
hopefully
is the idea that you are forced to go and do this awkward social activity that, like, especially as me as I'm not a drinker, so like the going out and doing these things, like I'm not going to stand around and get drunk with people for 4 hours. So it's really awkward and you end up doing nothing. And for people like us, it's like the hell holiday. Like, it's not a family holiday. It's like you go to around people and then you just awkwardly stand there and like, I don't know. It's just...
I don't have anything wrong with the holiday. Like, I have nothing wrong with going out, having a good time. But to me, like I said, to me, it's a throwaway holiday. It's like, look, if somebody was like, hey, I'm getting married on Christmas.
Like, I'm not doing that.
I don't want to do that. Or like, hey, my birthday's not a holiday, but I always don't like when I have to work.
I love New Year's Eve weddings. I love
New Year's
them.
Eve. I'd be like, meh. Like, I don't really care. It's not like I probably have plans. I'll go to some New Year's Eve party, but yeah, I don't care about it.
But when you think about like missing the holiday, you just think like, oh, I get to miss a bunch of awkwardness. It would be so much.
In my head, I'm like, oh, that's New Year's Eve. Oh,
yes.
So I have to miss that party. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm thinking like, yes, I want a wedding so that I can not be rude to people.
Well, there's fun aspects of it too.
Right?
Oh,
I like shooting the weddings too.
Usually, there's usually a little more, whatever.
Yeah, they actually, if you haven't done especially like a cold weather New Year's Eve wedding in a nice place, like there's just something special about it from a shooting standpoint. Like, you tell me, like, if I do want to be at weddings where people are partying like this, where I don't have to talk to anyone and I just get to shoot and have a nice time doing what I love doing. So speaking of what I love doing, it's filmmaking. I love making wedding films. I love working in the event industry. And I have a term I want to throw at you, Bobby, about event industry before we review films. I think wedding filmmakers should start calling themselves event filmmakers.
Ooh. I think in the right context, that makes sense, or it could work.
Makes you more money.
I think I'm going to call myself a cinematic love storyteller.
Ooh, that's probably way harder to digest, but
I'm still kind of workshopping it, but
all right. So today, and we're going to be doing cinematic love story reviews. And so why don't you tell people how we like to do these reviews?
Yeah, so if you've been here before, you're familiar with it, but quick refresher, we're going to watch a few films. If you are a member, we are going to watch more of your film. Up to about 5 minutes or so is where we cap it. We feel like we got a good idea. If you're not a member, we still want to watch your film. We're going to watch up to 2 minutes or so of it. And look, these aren't hard and fast rules. We're going to break them sometimes if we feel like watching more. Then what we really want, the goal of this whole thing, is to meet you where you are at as a filmmaker, share our experience. Both Jay and I have been in this industry between 15 and 20 years each. And we want to just impart our wisdom. It's not necessarily right or wrong, but we want to say, hey, here are some things that we really love about your film. Here are some things that we think you're doing really good as a filmmaker. And then on the flip side, here's some things that we think would really improve your film some things to pay attention to, and really the most impactful critique we could give you going into your next film to level that up even quicker and even faster. So again, not a grading scale. We're not giving you a number out of 10. We want to meet you where you're at, help you along your journey as a wedding filmmaker. We're doing this every week, so if we don't get to your film today, make sure you submit again for next week. And with that said, you ready to hop into the first film?
Yeah, if I can not die from coughing.
Yeah. Jay's going to have to mute his mic, cough nonstop. I actually do not, if you let me know the name of the film, I can intro it, but I don't have. It is,
so today's, our first film is from, it's the second film on the list by Lance Cook, Crown and Lace. It's the second film.
Perfect. All right, so this is coming from Lance Cook, company name Crown and Lace. And let's see what Lance said. I don't think I've ever spent more time on an edit than this one. It was extremely challenging for a number of reasons. 2 different outfit themes for the day, a British theme and a Gatsby theme. So I'm guessing maybe they're UK based. Ceremony was in a church. I think there's more to this. Yeah, there we go. Kind of, you know, church, rough church. We've all been there. And then a slick modern reception. So kind of polarizing opposites there. A lot of soundbite material to help the story. But took too much time. They weren't very concise. So sounds like just a lot of stuff that we all know and are all too familiar with. Shot on the GH5, GH5S, and the Mavic Air 2S.
They told us that we'll love the epic moment at 422.
Yeah, epic moment at 422. So we got to make sure we hit that. We will skip around, guys. I don't know if this
they're
is a member.
Allegedly.
Okay. Oh.
So,
allegedly.
But let's see. It's a 5 minutes, so we'll do the whole film.
All right. And that's what we got for you. So let's do it.
The foundation for living the sacrament of matrimony is not built on feelings, fantasies, or expectations of what your marriage should be like.
That's cool.
But instead, of what it can become.
That's
So a core memory of mine is watching Pride and Prejudice with my sister on the couch, and both of us lamenting and exclaiming, we'll never find a man half as good as Mr. Darcy. Well, it's safe to say that my sister has found her Mr. Darcy today. Anything she sets her mind to, she accomplishes it. She has an unbelievable energy, and I'm so glad she...
Are they fiercely loyal? That's the question. So that's on my what's on your speech bingo?
Oh man, I don't know.
I got a double fiercely loyal last wedding.
Oh, interesting.
2 toasts.
Is that 2 pot? Does that mean they're not fiercely loyal? It was like 2. It was too much that it's actually they're overcompensating for.
No, it's like anyone who even looks at their friend wrong, they just, they're fierce and beat them.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway.
Max, because Max is another extraordinary human being. He has amazing wit, a calm reassurance, a presence of kindness, and a depth of compassion in all his interactions and friendships.
I like that place is a giant piano.
Yeah. I started writing these vows only a few months into us dating because I've known for a long time that
I hate that ring shot. I'm sorry.
I promise to hold you and
not a fan.
In advance.
I vow to prioritize you and always.
That's not an execution thing.
I promise to keep you on a schedule and help you try to be on time. I promise to try my best to be spontaneous and have non-planned fun. I promise to love you even when I'm always in a mood. I promise to love you even when you move my comb or cuddle Bosco and Yazoo more than me. I vow to be honest and reliable. I vow to be your rock this day and every day. The happy years are every year that I'm with you. I love you.
Ever since I've met you, you've had such a positive effect on my life. And one of the most valuable things you've taught me is the beauty of a choice and that priority matters. So I vow 2 things to you. First, I vow to turn toward you. And second, I vow that there will always be a place for jokes. Because if I turn toward you, if we turn toward each other, and we hold on to humor, then I can make the most beautiful choice. I choose you. So thank you, my love, for being my greatest teacher, my protector, and most of all, the love of my life. I love you.
Reception. Where is this? This is not in the UK. Is this in Nashville?
I'm not sure.
Thank you all for being here. It really means the world to Tanya and I to have so many friends and family gather together. It was because of all of you touching the lives of us and our family that allowed us to be here today. So we really are appreciative.
Austin? I think that's the like Batman building in the background. Oh, that's like sweet venue.
I know, that's what I was looking at. I wonder if they installed that piece as the... I wonder if the wedding planner installed it or if they did.
I freaking love it. Look at that guy on his knees.
Yeah, that's good too.
Was that 422?
Yes.
You know, Max and I had our first date in Nashville. We fell in love in Nashville. Well, this will always be a city that we call home.
I
We're
knew
just
it.
really blessed to spend
But then I
this
called it
weekend with
Austin.
you guys, and cheers to you.
To the water park stage of life that you're going to lead me and us and every single person in this room. Let it be filled with the biggest water slides and the biggest swoops and dupes. And as I get older, maybe you just have a nice cold beer on the lazy river with your dad.
All right, Bobby. I'm gonna just say on the front end, I'm watching this film and I'm like actively trying to think of how to articulate some things because it's really good. First of all, like a very good film, and there's a lot of things that they did super well. And so the last thing I would want them to think is that I think it's a bad film or that it's that I feel critical.
It then with it is a good film, and because you are a good filmmaker and because you are at a certain level, we feel like we don't have to like hold back.
Yeah, and I want you to
things that are gonna sound maybe not mean is the right word, but like yeah, just like
well, and I'm also keeping in mind, Bobby, that they said this is the hardest they've ever worked on a film.
Yeah.
And I could see the work. I want them to know that I see the work. I want people to know that And that it feels bad when you give it your best and you get roasted. So I'm not gonna roast it. I want to roast it. I don't want you to hear it as roasting it. This is what I'm saying. I want you to hear it just like when I say something, I'm saying it with all the acknowledgement of you worked hard. I can see the work. You're very good. You're awesome at what you do. And some of it is my opinion. Some of it is some stuff I think that I am just with my experience. Anyway, what did you think?
With that said, starting with things that we did like,
which is a lot.
Yeah. I think there was plenty of well shot stuff throughout. Well shot, well concepted, well executed. I think, although I'm going to complain about it, the black and white stuff looked very striking. It was the right, if you're going to do black and white, and we're going to get to that, I liked the look of it. I liked the highlight of the venue. I loved that centerpiece light thing. It looked cool. It sets it apart.
Yeah, good detail cover, or at least wide shots.
That, yeah. I also think that one of the things that we complain a lot about is like open dancing. It doesn't look good. You're not in it. You're just shooting wide shots up above them from the outside, and that is not the case here. You were in it with a 50 or something like that. I thought there was lots of like open dance floor coverage. A few I liked, it looks like you're playing around with a variety of, let's call them creative things. So some is in camera. I think you're using a filter or like a prism or whatever for some stuff. I liked some of that. The different like
camera whips and stuff.
Yeah, I guess, yeah. So yeah, whips and like rotations in open dancing, and the like you showed some details. They were like the bride and groom's things, and they were in like film what's the word? Not templates, but you know what I'm talking about.
Like the little sprocket on the side.
Yeah, some of that stuff. Like I like, my ultimate thing, while I have gripes with some of those creative elements and your choice to use them and why and where and whatever and frequency, is that I always want to applaud what I feel like for this filmmaker is pushing their norm, right? Exploring outside of the line of where their films usually end. And so, yeah, I want to make sure to bring that up and say, like, I like seeing that you are trying what I think is probably new things. I think that played a role in this being your longest time spent editing, because I think you're really playing around and trying to push yourself creatively.
So this is what I think was done very well in this film. Is one of the things I criticize people a lot about is not including enough establishing shots in the film, especially when it comes to the party side, the celebration side. I think the celebration was well represented. It felt you could understand the flow of the day. You could, and like you mentioned the challenge, they had a lot of dress changes. Like you could see that happening. You could see the progress. You had a sense of what was going on. I think shooting into, there's kind of a no losing, like except for those exit signs that was losing. Yeah. But in general, I think you made the most of the room, and I just felt like you had a good plan too. I think one of those things where you're like they probably told you about that moment, right? Ahead of time, I'm going to jump over. And like you made sure to shoot it in such a way where you could see the whole action. And like I felt like there was a lot of that in the film. And of course, I think the exposures and the like color was really nice. And you did a great job with that stuff. And a lot of story elements that were included. Sometimes I think like I'm bored when I'm watching something, and it's really just like I don't know the couple and don't care. So I got to take myself out of that and go like, okay, would the couple find this story to be compelling? And I think they would really like it. I think that you did a good job with the story as well, and weaving that in, and kind of, when I say story in wedding filmmaking, I mean like there's the story of the day, what happened at this wedding. There's an event story. There's like parallel stories, and then there's a story of who they are. And it doesn't always mean like this is how they met and then they did this and then they It's more like you get a sense of their vibe. Like you get a sense of what their relationship is like, and I felt like you could also understand like he's kind of a low-key guy. He's a little bit detail oriented, and she's like very relentless, and she's a tough girl, and like like I think that's good too. So I think like all the like most important areas to work in the wedding industry and work with couples, I think he was very successful at. But I think it left me wanting a little more, a little difference, and so let's talk about that.
Yeah, I kind of think. I know I pointed out that ring shot. I have a lot of small stuff. I feel like the ring shot, didn't love it. I just don't like that ring shot, and part of that is I think being in this industry for so long, and like that was everybody, every single filmmaker did that ring shot 5 years ago or 10 years ago or whatever.
Brought the little haze machine though normally.
Yeah. So yeah, that's small. And then I think like, man, I talked about two things in a positive light, but I want to also bring them up in this critique area. And one of them is the black and white. And if you've seen me critique films before, then I'm going to sound like a broken record. While I liked your black and white visually, if you just exported a frame and said, does this look nice? And I would say, I think it does. I like the color of it. I like, that. I like it being executed. I do not understand. I still just feel like a lot of black and white there's no rhyme or reason to it, and it drives me nuts. And maybe that's just a me thing where I'm like, why is this one black and white? It very well could be, but you know what? This is my show too, and I'm gonna show.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't put black and white in either, so like,
I just think against it, but I want it to be like a contained thought of it's like, I just want intentionality behind it. So I guess I will say I'm not saying there wasn't intentionality behind it, but I'm saying that as a viewer, I can't find that common thread. So I hope that you knew why, and it wasn't just I'm gonna make this black and white, or I don't really like the lighting as much. It's gonna be black and white. So that, and then I think some of the transition stuff for me was too much. I don't hate this, what we're looking at right now. I'm thinking of like there was like 6 180-degree turn whip transitions in a row, and I'm just like, enough. I think
that was a transition. I didn't like that transition. So.
Yeah, I think it was a transition.
But let's pause on this, because I think you're bringing up something I wanted to say. My biggest critique with this film is it lacks clarity.
It's going a lot of, that is like, it feels like you are trying something new, but you're not trying something new. You're trying a lot of.
Yeah. So like you have this intro segment, right? So this is just what I would do. I can't speak towards what he should or she should do, but this is what I would choose to do. I would not lead with this bad looking content. Like first you have this, and then you have this very bad looking, and like the little fake film thing.
It's very sentimental.
Mm-hmm.
Like I would get, and it's a cool concept for them to do this at the reception. Like
it's not the vibe though. The vibe of this event is high end.
Yep.
And so I would lean into the vibe of the event and then say, how do I stick this in? I wouldn't do it at the beginning. And I think my biggest issue is like there's a lack of clarity in terms of how do I best feature this event. And so there's like moments like this that's you have this is not a good shot. And it's meaningful to them and stuff, but it's not well lit. It doesn't look nice. I would put it in.
It's not what you want to front load your film with.
No, I might not put it in at all. But if I had to put it in, I would try to find a way to put it in near a toast where someone's like, when you proposed on the mountain, or when you did this, like that will cover it up. But like I always tell people, it's like get to like the beginning. You have this wall right here that's like looks like a gym wall, and like
that is the church, but yeah,
that's fine. Like give like a 30-second buffer of all your best stuff. My opinion, this film should have had like a banging intro that really like draws out the grandeur.
There's so much that is really well shot and really high end feeling.
Yeah, it draws out the grandeur of the event. The real body of the event is this. Like blast it out, and then you kind of slow it down and bring it into the house. But like it kind of was like, I'm trying to even remember the music. And the other thing is, that like,
chandelier is the main character of the film, is basically what we're saying.
Yeah, like like I felt like and then the last thing I was gonna say, and then I'll let you get back to it, is like the music is not good to me.
That's my last thing that I have on my list. Like the first song, it worked for 10 seconds for me. Like play the first 15 seconds for me.
Yeah, this transition too, when the birds come in, is nice. I'll give them that.
Well, I'll tell you where I started to be like, no, this doesn't work anymore. Well, I don't like this film sound, first of all.
Is not built on feelings,
but like this part of it, this works.
Not to me. Part of the song well, yeah, the song part. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I like this though. Watch this.
What it can.
It goes with the birds.
Yeah, and this works too, right here. And then after the first, sorry Jay, I don't know though, like what is this, a verse, a chorus, whatever. Like as soon as we get through this cycle right here, until like here, I'm just like, we can't use.
If they really wanted to use this as the intro, they could have used like 30 seconds of it and then cut.
Exactly.
But I'm looking at like.
Instead, we're sitting at this for another 2 minutes, and it's just a loop, and it does. It sounds like you got it from Audio Jungle or something. You know what I mean?
And the second song is worse.
And the second song is not the vibe. I get party, I get that, but it's like.
It is unrefined. It's unrefined. It sounds like something that a person with pink hair would listen to. Like
pink hair.
Sorry.
Seems random, but I don't know.
No, like a girl who's like going out clubbing, you know, like dressed in cosplay.
It's like, yeah, it's
not the vibe.
It can like work for parts, but it can't be such a big section of the film. Because it's not a flexible enough song.
It lacks drama.
Play different roles.
It lacks drama and refinement. Like the thing that people need to, if you want to move into a certain space, your music has to reflect the sensibilities of the industry and of the what you're trying to do. And I think like not like the ham-fisted fake drama, like. And it's not fake when Ray Roman does it, but like one of the things you see sometimes is people like Ray Roman will make a film, right? And he's doing the biggest weddings. And so there are these opulent songs with these people with like all this makeup on and like this crazy over the top thing. And the music works, right? Because the subject matter matches it. And then you see people put it on like people in a barn wedding and you're like, this is weird. Yeah. Same thing here. I'm watching this and going like, this doesn't feel right. And I get it. This is like one of the hardest things. This is why I was struggling to give it to critique, because I was like,
well, it's forcing something. It's tough because as an artist, you want to create what you want to create, and you want people to hire you for what you want to create, and that's all well and good. And you want to continue to strive and push yourself and evolve.
Well,
and that's important. Mm-hmm. But you can't force something into a box that doesn't fit in that box.
Well, the challenge here, Bobby, is I think, how do you know? And I think this is why I struggle to give the critique sometimes, is because it's like, that's the wrong song. Fair. Well, says who? You know, how do you get to that point? You know, I think I think it's tough. Like it's something I've reflected on a lot. It's like, how do you teach people to have good taste?
Yeah, I do not know how. Like, I know how to say why I didn't like it. I cannot tell you, like, I don't know. That's more of a you thing. But you have a music background too.
Yeah, well, and also like I understand the luxury travel industry. I'm like very much like try to notice what kind of music people are using in certain settings and all the things that are going on in this. And it's like I know it when I see it.
Yeah.
Right. And I know
it is taste. That's a good way to put it. Like
it's taste.
It's hard to get around it not being taste.
Well, here's what I'll say: you're not way off. Like I think the vibe in some ways,
it's not about access to free use materials. You pay for your music. It's pretty simple. I don't know. Like, there's so many options now. Sorry, I came off like really hot on reading that comment, and I didn't mean to. But like, there's so much available to you now that was not available. And there's availability at all price points, and like hands down, MusicBed, absolutely the best. This video brought to you by MusicBed. But there are other options too that fit like every.
I don't
budget,
understand his point though. He's saying it's not about taste. I don't get it. No,
even if you pay,
here's
the
deal.
Suck. You can still suck, but then it's taste, is what I'm saying.
I would say,
if you
let me look at your work.
Bad songs, then you're choosing bad songs, and that's poor taste or poor opinion or whatever. I don't know.
I would say, let me see
my argument.
Let me see your work. And also, this person is suggesting that we do selected color. So I'm not sure they should be trusted on good taste.
Yeah, selective color is a rough music. MusicBed, BED.
But
MusicBed.com.
I'm just telling you, man. Like the best of the best, just know. And I give people grace on that. I don't know how to always teach that. I'm telling you, like, if you want to focus on growing, develop your palette in this one area, which is understanding the luxury high-end people and like how to speak their language.
Well, if that's what you want to do, or if that's what you're doing. And I think the tough part is
that's what this person could be doing.
Yeah, and actually, so Lisa May commented earlier, and I think it just like epitomizes our struggle with this film, which is I truly thought it was a low budget film at the start, or a low budget wedding, and then the reception comes, and wow, because like, yeah, exactly, like there was like, I don't know, yeah,
that's it. Yeah. It's a good film. I want this filmmaker deserves this opportunity, and I think they're going to get more of them, and I don't think they should come outside themselves. I think they just need to decide like what they want to make, and like if they want these types of weddings and they can cover them well, I think they should continue trying to get them because they can do them. Not everyone can do them, but they can do them. And I think just like figuring out how to like best represent the opportunity is maybe what I'm saying.
Yeah. But wrapping it all up with this film, again, we want to wrap it in this like this is very well shot. We can see the thought and the process that went into editing it. We love that you're pushing the boundaries, and we feel because you are very good at what you do and very well established, we feel like we can really challenge you on some of the decisions.
Yeah, and this is a great learning opportunity, so I appreciate you submitting it because maybe you say screw you guys and keep doing it and do that, fine. But if someone's watching this and seeing like feeling the way that we felt, like, and maybe you feel this way, maybe that's why you submitted the film, is like you're like, it feels something's off about it to me. Maybe we're just helping you understand like there's just a disconnect between some of the creative choices and some of the opportunities that you had the day of to present something. And I think it really comes down to just work on that unspoken thing. You don't need technique anymore. At the top of the game, this is really what I'm saying. At the top of the game, we're all pretty good. We're all pretty good. We all know how to do the cameras the same way. We could all edit just as good. We're all shooting really good weddings. The difference between one person and another person is either they have different tastes that appeal to different people, but ultimately they all have good taste. And if you're wondering like, why am I not shooting these better weddings? It's probably not technical skills. Like if you're like stuck in a certain point, it's probably you need to work on refine your palette as a creative and learn to communicate in that way.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Max, that was me to a T. I wouldn't say that Jay and I are bad cop, good cop always, but I'm happy to let my dark side come out. I don't know why. I just like saw that and I was just like, it made me very mad. So
sorry.
Bobby. But so contra, who said this guy didn't pay for this? The point isn't, you're right. The point isn't whether or not they paid for it.
I think they paid for it. That's why I said it's taste.
Yeah, but the point is that I can tell you, like, my comment was, this sounds like a song from Audio Jungle, and the reference of that is
Audio
maybe
Jungle.
you do have to pay for Audio Jungle, but like
you do.
The reference was you paid like $1 and it's these like looping songs or
like a dentist would use in their like marketing video
or something. Exactly. It's like, so that's where we say it is taste. Like, yes, he probably did pay for it. Could you find something like this on the best site for licensing?
This person said that they all suck. And I'm like, they don't all suck. They don't all suck. That's when I was just like, not... Anytime anyone says...
Licensed music can absolutely still be bad. We're not saying that licensed or paying for it makes it good, which is why we're saying taste is important. I can go to a library that I could pay for at the Music Bed, for example, because that's what we're most familiar with, and I could find very good songs that fit a high-end wedding very well, and I could find very bad songs that fit no wedding well, and I could find very good songs that fit a high-end wedding not well.
Well,
like,
taste,
that's where my taste and my opinion and my judgment comes into play.
Even taste, when like you go in there and you click on like, oh, I want cinematic genre, mood, love. And you see the top 5 songs, and you know every wedding filmmaker did the exact same thing. And if you use any of those top 5 songs,
so you got to go to number 6.
You got to get like, like that's even part of it. Is like, how do you make your film stand out? Like, I mean, you just don't use that. Is it an obvious song? And like things like that. Like that's not a bad song. That chapter song is a good song. And like I might use it in something I didn't want to show or whatever that wasn't important. Like, but my sensibility knows everyone has this song in their wedding film. I don't want to put it.
I'm honestly so over it. I don't even care if I feel like a song. If I'm like, you know what, this chapter song, it fits. I'm just like,
me too. Unless I want to release it as a 30-second reel.
Yeah, that's it. Well, I would say that's true. Although I literally just released a 22-second reel that was with chapters.
I'd say I have no problem with chapters. They have tons of songs, but you might.
Well, it was a main song.
I mean, I don't care that much either. It's just my personal opinion. Is like.
Yeah, no. And to be fair, I try to avoid that. I was conscious of it. I was like, I don't really want to do this, but like, I just need to crank out something with some details.
And it just works.
And that's just going to be this. Yeah.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like the fact that you knew matters. The fact that it like that little thing triggered in your brain, and like that's what we mean by taste, is like just kind of knowing what's going on and being aware.
Max out here saying he doesn't care for the Music Bed's search function. It's not always the most efficient. But Music Bed, you didn't hear that from us. That's a comment.
Let me tell you something, Max.
Don't get mad at us.
You can give me a call, and I can give you some hacks.
Actually, Max, well, you're a very good filmmaker, but if you haven't watched Jay's video on finding the right music and using complementary keys and kind of in conjunction with Music Bed, you should. And if you have, I'd be curious, because I also consider myself a pretty good, experienced filmmaker, and I actually got a lot of good stuff out of that video. So go search it up.
Here we go. Next film is going to be by Grant Fitzgerald.
Yes.
Thank you, guys. And thank you for indulging us. And filmmaker, great job. And we didn't mean to make you a punching bag at all. You're a good filmmaker. Honestly, really excited for your the next film that you're going to do.
Yeah, super solid stuff.
Bobby, it's you. I just now threw the ball to you.
Oh, sorry. Am I introing this? Yes. Grant from Fitzgerald Films, who is in chat. This wedding... Hold on, I gotta click out the whole thing. All right. Should I reveal the secret about this one, Jay?
Sure.
All right, so this is the wedding of my best friend of nearly 30 years. Him and his wife, Cindy, decided to book with me. It turned out I had another wedding scheduled for their main ceremony day.
No.
Fortunately, I was able to get Bobby, me.
Yay!
And he filmed the main event for me. Yay! So basically, I'm like Batman, and I saved the day. Second day was traditional Vietnamese tea ceremony, fun incorporating the 2 days into one. So a little bit about the day I shot. It was up north on the North Shore of Minnesota. It was the foggiest day I have ever seen with my eyes. And I believe it was chilly. But North Shore, Minnesota, super, super cool. Couple was awesome. It was kind of in this, it was their cabin. Pretty tiny little space. Not a whole lot of area to really work with. And it rained on and off throughout the day. A classic.
So, all of New York, my entire season?
Yeah. Well, we've already talked about this on this show. Like, I think like 80% of my wedding days had rain this year. What the?
Yeah, it actually was literally. I think we counted 70%.
Jeez. Tried something a little out of the box for the intro. Curious if you love it or hate it. Also, should I leave or take out the shots of the groom's dad for the portfolio? Yeah, the groom's dad, I will tell you right now, changed out of his tux. Like, he was in his tux for like 10 minutes. And then he was in like sweats outside of that. And I don't remember what else to share about this. I have not seen this edit. So.
That's good.
I don't think I've seen it. Yes, these are the Sony XM5s.
Yeah, the future of headphones.
Apparently.
I don't know. I just said that. That might be terrible. Okay, I'm gonna tell you off the bat.
Too long.
Don't like it, but what I will say is it would be much better if it was speeding up or slowing down. The consistent pace is what I don't like. So yeah, if it was like and like they were like there was like that anyway. But I like the idea. So and I like the song. Like right there, like
what I would have done, you're at 18 seconds. I would have started that at, I don't know, 10 or 13, and same with Jay. I would have sped it up and added some.
When they do that, when they do that little violin
it.
trill, you ramp it.
Oh, they can't see it. They can't see it. Go back.
Oh, dang it. Okay, we'll play it again. It was only 18 seconds.
All right, but so like watch, but then go back and listen to our thought. No, wait,
we'll say it again. Let's try to say the exact same thing.
13 seconds.
Hold on.
You got to pause it at 13.
No, I didn't talk before, so I messed it up already. Don't like it.
Too long.
No, but we'll say like when we'll play it and like there's a violin trill. Like I feel like it should just be like slower to faster or something where it's a little bit more. But this little trill is coming up and it's a good opportunity to do complementary editing to go with the sound design of the actual song.
Yeah, I would like that intro to be
right here,
like 5 to 8 seconds or something.
You know, it's like crescendoing.
Yeah.
Give them a visual cue to go with the music.
Yeah.
What a cool rock.
Oh yeah.
Today is finally here. I just introduced you at church, and I have to be talking to you and your mom and your sister, and I saw David's face, and I went, oh wow, he's just seen the most beautiful woman in the whole world, and he was smitten from the first second he laid eyes on you.
We are here today to witness.
You guys shot the crap out of this. It looks really good.
Thanks, Jay.
Also, this is an awesome lake.
That's Lake Superior.
Sweet, dude.
And it's epic. And you can see like 15 feet.
It's a joining of two families, the Denai and Pham family. Today, the groom and his family will gain a wonderful daughter into their household, and the bride's duty will now be her groom and his family. Marriage is a heavenly union of two souls, two families, and two diverse cultures. Two unique worlds with different stories, sets of beliefs, and lifestyles coming together to create a new world altogether for themselves is what a marriage is all about.
Hi, David. Get this ring.
That veil is so dope. That's so stylish. I love that veil.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Her dress is great too. Like these people are slick, dude. They look good.
You, Cindy.
Hi, Cindy. Give this ring to you, David.
As a token of the eternal.
That's not so good.
Sorry. That wasn't I had a tight shot down the.
Well, I mean, I don't really know what you're gonna really totally do. I mean, I guess this is to put this on edge of frame would be impossible. It's so. I honestly, Bobby, if it's not your wedding, but I would have told them like, no, you cannot put that speaker there.
I honestly didn't even know if we were gonna be able to have a ceremony because it was raining and there was not a place to do it inside.
This is event filmmaking 101. You know, you never know. But regardless, that's a bummer.
Yeah.
Covenant made between us this day.
As a pledge of our mutual love. In the name of the Father,
And of the Son, and of the
Holy Spirit.
Power vested in me, and before God, I declare that they are husband and wife. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. David, you may kiss your bride.
I'm so happy to have Sydney, have David to take care. They both really good together. And I already love David so much.
Right where you guys stood is the beginning of the path out to where we call the Rock. And it's been a special place, but we know spiritually, Jesus is our rock. And I would say keep your new family on the path to the Rock.
I now present to you David and Cindy, husband and wife.
This is so weird sounding. It's like, and I'll present you David and Cindy. Yay. And all the people are just...
I mean, to be fair, it's like 6 people.
I know, I just wouldn't include it. And so I was like, it sounds like
maybe,
people aren't
it's either
excited.
like amp it up a little with like some added in really, really low.
Let's not get into it because I think it makes
clapping.
this is the one critique I want to give him about the film that I feel very strongly about, and I don't want to get into it. Oh, I guess the film's over.
Awesome shots on the Rock. Thank you.
Yeah, there's a lot of
how
good
did you
stuff
get
in
the
there.
close-ups? The stuff showing them, I was very far away, 70-200 handheld, I believe, and then up close on them, I hopped over the little ledge with my camera onto the Rock. You have to jump over a gap to get out there, and it's scary.
Yeah, you basically got to be willing to die for this job.
Yeah,
so,
which I am.
So
as long as if I'm shooting for Grant, I will put my life
I'm going to critique Bobby's shooting first and say Bobby is an excellent shooter. Like he is one of the best just straight up camera operators, which is a different skill, different than even the storytelling. It's related, but it is different. Did you do all the drone work too?
Yeah.
So Bobby is very does not get enough credit, I think, in the industry for what a good camera operator he is. He's very, very good. And every little moment he's doing here, I don't think I would do significantly different. I think it's all either it's just I don't think you can do anything in wedding films. I always think there's a right shot and a wrong shot. And so I think there are just some bad shots and there are good shots, and I feel like Bobby makes the right decisions most of the time. So I love the shooting, and that's not just because he's on the show. He's a better camera operator than I am, and so I do notice the difference between Bobby and Grant's footage, the way that Grant handles his highlights, and I would say Bobby or Grant. Now that you have all this content from Bobby, I think you should look at them in the scopes, because I think Bobby's highlights are much softer, and given it's a different day. But
different cameras too.
Yeah. You're on the A7S3, and what's he on, R6?
He's on the No, he's on the R8 or something. It's I don't know.
You could see you could see the difference, the way that those windows are blowing out and the way the highlights are rolling. Yeah. So regardless, though, it's very good, and I liked the way that he included both days. I felt like they were both pretty well represented. Yeah. The only question I had about the film, and this isn't a good or a bad thing, just a question, was there no dancing at all on that first day? There's no party
on the day I shot?
Yeah.
Nothing. So basically it was Grant will probably know for sure. I showed up, I shot 3 minutes of bride prep at the hotel that was across the street basically. Then I went, but that was only the makeup stuff. It was 2 shots that are in this film. Mm-hmm. Then I shot groom and bride getting ready in the only accessible room basically in the cabin in like a 5x5 square. And that
said, go near this window.
Exactly.
Yep.
And then they did the ceremony, and then we went to that rock area called Palisade Head, and then they did the dinner on the porch. And to start dinner, they did like 2 speeches. I think each parent spoke, and then I was done.
Was it 4 hours of coverage?
Something like that. It wasn't very many.
So that to say, this is how to do it, boys. Like, shoot beautiful stuff. Get beautiful stuff. Like, especially when the day is short. And like, I think this is Bobby being cognizant too of like, this is going to be a small amount of content. And like, what I see a lot of people do is they spend too much of their time, like percentage of their time shooting hideous things that they never want to put in the film, and they want to just stand next to the bride and groom and look present or something. And I'm like, no, like, you need to make the most of your time. You need good content. And this is like,
I think that was part of the conversation that I had with Grant too, because that was one of my questions going into it, was like, how much, because I knew he was shooting another day. I didn't know if it was one day or whatever. I didn't know what they had planned for that other day. But my big question was like, look, an elopement at a cabin on a day that's supposed to be rainy and cloudy, with not that much time set aside to like go out,
and no guarantee that the toasts are going to be good.
Exactly. I was like, how much am I like responsible for in this film? And luckily, I think going into it with that mindset I think you're right. I think it's
but you have to make that pivot
decision
on set, or at the wedding. Like, when you're shooting, you're going like, this is not going well, or I'm going to run out of content. What do I need to do to make up for it? Like, but I think it just in general, like we have found this year that we have less and less portrait work out of couples. And we used to have these
definitely
films.
Had to like blast through stuff. That's actually happened a lot this year.
This year has been that way because of the weather. I think partially, right? But I think like we've had to think through like, okay, what do I really need to make a beautiful wedding film? And we just have so much more B-roll now than ever. Like, you would never watch this. This is absolutely gorgeous. So good job. And the edit is very solid. Even some critiques I have, I really like the edit a lot.
Yeah, I think my favorite thing is all the footage on the North Shore. Just kidding. I think one of my favorite things, everything I did. I really, really like, it's really cool for me to see this. I don't shoot for other people, really. Like, and it's not like I'm too good for it or anything like that. I just don't really do it. It was really fun, honestly. It was fun to shoot a wedding for somebody else. I've second shot once or maybe twice in the last 10 years. And that's been really fun too. So it is fun to like mix it up, do something different. I like that. And then seeing the way Grant put it together, I like the edit. I think especially knowing the couple, they were a little more reserved. Awesome people, super sweet. Yeah. And just like very intentional. And I love that. And I think this edit really fits them. And I really, really liked I liked the way he handled the juxtaposition of both like getting ready. So like it's the bride, you see her getting ready both times, but at the same time.
I like that too. I think
like
that was
back
smart.
to back and stuff. I think it's really cool. And I think it really helps break up, because I'm sure when Grant got into this edit, he sees like, look, the shot of the bride getting ready at the cabin, or the shots, they're very beautiful. Right, it's this really nice light. It's so dark. I know it fits Grant's look of this kind of darker, moodier look, which is my look too, and it worked out really well. But it's like I said, there's not a lot of variety. There's not a lot of space to work with, and there was a lot of time spent just sitting, waiting for rain to pass and stuff. So like, knowing that visually you need to break up the bride and groom getting ready at the cabin, you need to break up a lot of the front end stuff at the cabin, so to do it with the day 2 stuff of also getting ready, I think is not only looks good and nice, it's a very smart decision.
And also the way that he chose to use that toast was almost the spine of the footage, which like there's this marriage of cultures, and like kind of like giving them equal weight.
And we're seeing that visually.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like giving them equal weight in the film and presenting them at the same time. I think that was really good. So I have one major critique. Well, two. One is the highlights on that other camera are, I think you still need to level your camera up. So I know you will, but I've just noticed such a big difference, and it's particularly what makes me feel stronger on that opinion when I see the way that his highlights are versus the way Grant's are. Now, given, like I said, the days are different, but regardless, yeah, that's one thing. The major critique is the sound mixing. The mix on that audio is way too hot on the music the whole time. And so whenever people are speaking, like you can't hardly understand what they're saying because the music is too loud. And I would encourage you, like one of the things I tell my guys when they're doing audio mixing, I'm like, mute the vocals now. What is that? Like that audio, like this is just how we do it. I want that audio at like minus 25 peaks max. And then when I want the vocals, I'll be like, now, like a lot of people don't realize this, Bobby. When you are mixing audio, when you have two sources on at the same time, it has a cumulative effect on your meter. It's not, but like they will have a separate volume. So like you could have your music at minus 30 and your audio and your vocals hitting like minus 6, you know? And when you turn them both on, it'll be louder than minus 6. It's not just the loudest thing. It's a totality of things.
Building.
Yes. It's like more like, imagine they're all trying to fit through the same hose.
Okay. Gotcha.
And so when you're doing a mix, it's really good to take your audio, your music, and look at the levels without the audio, and then look at the vocals without the music, and then turn them both on and see what the new levels are, and make sure that it's like, you know, I'm always aiming for minus 6 to minus 4 on my final audio mix, and you know, usually I think a lot of people have their music too loud. And that is the biggest critique I would have is you don't want to lose these vocals. So, or these, not vocals, these speeches, you want to make sure that they are present and they really pop. And so you need to just tone that music down a couple times.
Yeah. Yeah, I think before I get into critique, I want to add one more thing that is, I really like the coverage of this, I think it was a tea ceremony, right, is the word? Yeah.
Yes.
I think it is hard. It's hard to shoot stuff that happens at a home, you know, whether it's prep or a ceremony or whatever, and you got different looks out of it and you made it look nice. Like I know it's at a home. It's very clear with like the establishing shots and whatever and the stuff happening out front, but it doesn't necessarily feel like that.
Well, you gotta lean into it too, kind of like you can't try to make it something it's not. And I really like the fact that he did those like wide, almost like wedding reception detail style, like pull out shots of the tea ceremony area and stuff.
Yeah, like the cake. I think it was a cake.
Yeah, a lot of nice stuff.
Critiques for me. I think my biggest thing actually is the intro. And I think I kind of voiced, but to recap, like I like a fast intro. I agree with Jay. I would like it to be varying, to speed up or maybe slow down. I think with this song and a little bit of sound design, I would lean speed up. And then my biggest thing is I think it was 18 seconds, and it's too long. And I think it's also including it's like a lot of stuff that you'll see a very similar shot, which is totally fine, and then a few things that I think like didn't fit.
Well, they wouldn't need to use as many shots though if he sped up.
Yeah,
like, and I don't think you would feel it was too long too if it sped up, because it would be like 3 second shot, 3 second shot, 2 second, 2 second.
Well, yeah, exactly. So if we were sitting on, I think I felt the intro was too long for the reason you said, which is each shot is half a second. Click, 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 and that would be, what was that, 1, 2,
yeah,
3, 4,
it's
5,
definitely
6, 8
too long.
And I would be like, it needs to change.
It's definitely too long to expose people to like that level of.
But
speed.
if we went 3 seconds, 3 seconds, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2, 1, half, you know, whatever.
He graded your footage like a boss, by the way.
Yes, go Grant.
It looks great.
Yeah, and yeah, I think everything looked really good. I don't know what else.
Good film, really good. Yeah. I love it. You're a good filmmaker. Blah blah blah. Also, you're good too, Bobby. So, the end.
Thanks. Team effort. That was a fun one. I will say I don't think the fast intro inherently is a lazy intro. So
no,
I like it.
I don't think it was lazy.
I totally will use it. I just think it needs to be reworked a little.
I think it just needs to. It can have maximum impact. That's all. Like you can maximize the impact.
Grant saying, what do you mix with when it comes to speaker or headphones? I used to use headphones, but I found I could hear things better in the headphones than on a laptop, for example.
We do a bunch of different things. So I use primarily we use meters. You shouldn't use your ears.
I'm not using, my primary thing is looking at my meters. I usually will do a pass with headphones to see if there's anything unwanted.
You can edit with headphones. We edit with headphones all the time.
Yeah.
When you do your final mix, the number one thing guys will tell me if I walk into the room, the number one thing I tell them is crank your speakers loud.
Yeah.
You need to be listening at the right volume level. Speakers are made. They're magnets. They need to vibrate at a certain thing for you to actually hear them properly. The less they're vibrating, different frequencies will come out. So you want to get full spectrum out of the speakers. If you're really trying to critical listening applications, some speakers are fine. Some headphones are fine for that. Generally, most headphones are designed for comfort or sounding good right away. So I don't think most wedding filmmakers really need to worry about that crap that much. Look at your meters. Give it a pass at a nice loud volume on the speakers on your thing, of course, on your headphones. But, in general,
I will, with all that said, I will often grant when a film is done, I'll watch it on my phone or just through my laptop because that's where a lot of people are watching their films, just to make sure
yes.
Okay, it still sounds right.
Yeah, after compression doesn't just affect video, it affects audio too. So you will lose dynamic range in your audio when you compress it. So not a ton, but it's why just I agree. Having a pass, you can even put it on your phone and put your AirPods in and literally watch it. And I think that's helpful. If you can't understand what someone's saying though, but I'm telling you, if you just use your meters, you can edit with your eyes. You don't even really need to listen to it. If you use your meters, obviously listen to it before you export it. But at the end of the day, that's going to be the most determining on whether or not your mix is going to be good.
Yeah, me and Michael know what we're talking about. Listen to your phone at some point. Yeah, isn't that wild that most people are going to watch their film on their phone?
Yeah, I always do.
No, but it's just
I can't remember the last time I watched one of my films on a TV.
Oh,
besides the editing them, so.
Anyway. Yeah, I don't know if it happened ever.
All right, final film.
Final film. We need a button that we hit and we say final film and then it plays a little intro. Welcome to the final film of this week. Coming from Max Smith at the Smiths. Always love his work. Their work. Sorry, I know it's you and your spouse, I believe. And in chat, which I love. I believe still in chat. Was in chat at some point. Couple was totally unhinged in the best way. Love that. Wanted me to mic them up for the whole day to capture random moments of them saying something stupid. They did not disappoint. If you're going to watch only a portion of this film, watch the first 4 minutes. Okay. Also, if you're a child, cover your ears. We've been warned. There are swear words.
Swear words? You're going to get us demonetized.
Oh, dude. Mine's so long.
Wait, have we watched this?
No, it's this. I think they've done this venue before.
Headliner, showstopper, trendsetter, prototype, the gold topper. Bring your A game, I'm known to do it so proper. Ballin' all over the world, I'm a globetrotter. Smoother than Don Juan, cigar on my palm, other hand holding the Sean Don's.
We're gonna get crazy on the dance floor. We're gonna get crazy.
You got them all Katanas or whatever.
Are you sure it's a good idea for these people to be getting married?
Yeah. And getting swords
long.
and alcohol.
Austin, we are about to be cuffed up forever.
Yeah.
Dana, my first thought is, I wonder how long your note is to me. But I'm sure that's something I'm currently finding out. Dana, you're the light in my eyes, the wind in my sails, and most importantly, the pain in my fucking ass.
Whoa.
I'm gonna totally lose my voice tomorrow. Random dance move. 3, 2, 1. Do you want me to look pissed off? Because I can right now. There's a buck. I hate the way my hand is on you.
Yeah.
Oh. He stuck my tongue in his mouth. Yeah. I just smacked your booty cheek.
Let me hear you say, if you got it going on, you feel good, let me hear you say, this your part of the song. So fly, so cool. We set my own rules, make my own moves, got my own tune. Spotlight on the stars, gotta get nobody dressed flyer. They the openers.
Easily the best idea ever. Oh my god. They sword fight. This is a really good film.
Come on, don't make it weird.
Mama, strapless.
Yeah. Max, I'm about to belch.
That's exactly what I need you to do.
Max.
Oh, no.
Hi.
Hold up, kid.
Act like you like me. God, you're so awkward, you guys.
You feel right, let me hear you say, if you got it going on, you feel right, let me hear you say, this your part of the song. So fly, so cool, no trends, we set our own rules. We come through star-studded, ain't nobody dressed flyer. They the openers, we the headliners.
Who got a crust?
There she's Skylar.
Cheers. Let's get the shoot done.
Never made love in the rain. It's a love story. This bird's charging us. I'm married.
Boot driven. All right.
Dana called me last August after their engagement photo shoot. It downpoured the entire time. The photographers had messaged them afterwards, telling them that they had been one of their most favorite couples they had ever shot. They were down for anything, jumping in a lake fully clothed, and they had so much fun together. The fact that these people who had only met Dana and Austin a handful of times at this point had picked up on their excitement, enthusiasm, and authenticity is a true testament to them as a couple.
Fire burning in the daylight, wasting our energy, silently arguing.
Who knew 8 years ago that we would be here today? A house, 2 dogs, and a whole bunch of love later. The confidence you have instilled in me throughout our relationship has helped shape me into the person I am today.
Still the only person who I want to be around.
I am grateful that I have seen Dana and Austin from the very, very beginning.
What I'm looking forward to most tomorrow is watching you walk down the aisle. Tomorrow's gonna be the reality of you marrying literally your soulmate right here.
What is this?
I'm excited to see all of your favorite people in one room tomorrow.
Every moment with you guys is always a blast. I always have so much fun. Tomorrow's gonna be amazing. Enjoy every second of it.
What's it gonna take?
continue to push me to reach for my goals and support me even when I fail. Our last 6 years have been filled with ups and downs, laughs and tears, and I wouldn't trade it for anything or anyone.
In the more recent years, I feel we've truly embodied what it means to be each other's best friends. This hectic life we have built together, I feel, is just coming to fruition. One day we will look back and we're going to realize how young we still truly are, and that our best days are yet to come.
What if we never said goodbye? Or can we go back and try? Try to keep us alive.
I love that shot.
I feel that one thing that I don't tell you enough is that you truly are my best friend. Words can't tell someone how much they love you as their actions will. So let's drink this bar dry and somehow manage to stay coherent as we inadvertently invited way too many people to our day. And let's remember this as the most beautiful day of our lives. Love you, your best friend, your sidekick, your guy who cuts the lawn and picks up the dog shit, and now your fucking husband, Austin Paltanovich.
What's it gonna take? I'm sorry, you know I'm sorry.
My favorite times together is when we're together as a family, just laughing and having fun. And that's the thing I wish for you both. I want you to laugh every day, love every day, and take care of each other.
Whoops.
Wish we had a little bit of ranch. That's a fire dust.
No. All right. Well, I liked it.
So, I wanted to watch the whole film because I wanted to be able to say this with confidence, because I felt like I've watched Max. I've known Max for years and watched them when they were starting. And, I think it's like a journey, right, of understanding your identity. And it's like you start one way and then it becomes a little too bottle brushed, and then it eventually becomes you.
Yep.
Eventually you're like, this is what we want to do. And I feel like this is like the best film they've ever made.
This is peak The Smiths.
At this point, at least. But yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like this is like...
Not that you can't go up from here.
The fulfillment of their creative vision.
Well, it's the culmination of the amount of buy-in that they continuously... I don't know if they push for it or brand for it or whatever, but that has always been something that I think they are masterful at, is getting buy-in from their couples.
Yes.
And you have to have the right couples for that and the right days and whatever, and be the right personality, be the right people, capture the day the right way, edit the day the right way. There's a lot that goes into that, but they've always been very good at it. And this is just a shining example of buy-in from your couple.
Well, and what's interesting is I don't know if I'll have a critique about it. I have questions about the day and what was actually going on half the time, but in general, it doesn't really matter, because in terms of the way that they wanted to tell the story, obviously it looks great. This is my positive feedback. It looks incredible, but the way that they wanted to tell the story and the creative direction and the way that it facilitated mutual vulnerability. These are the top storytelling things when you're trying to it's obviously taste, creating but high end film photography and portraiture is all about mutual vulnerability. It's like that the people feel the ability to be vulnerable, that you are being vulnerable, that you're creating a space. And I felt like they created a space for them to be themselves. They made it fun. And they also, like, just from a scheduling standpoint, they made a lot of, they got an ability to have a lot of time to do this stuff. Obviously, I watched this and I'm like, I could never make this film, not because I just couldn't conceive of it, but I literally, like, my couples would never, ever, ever make this film with me.
One thing that I'm curious about, and I know Max is in chat, so I'm curious. Well, Max, do you guys do photo too? That wasn't actually my question, but now I'm thinking maybe that's the answer.
I don't think so.
And the question is, how does a day like this come about where the photographer feels like they are able to get what they want to?
Well, and also, like, how much time are you spending to get those portraits?
Yeah.
There's so much portrait work in this film. But I don't really, like, honestly.
So yeah, this was a video photo combo.
Yeah, oh, that's good.
Do you find, Max, that your photos are representative of this, I don't know, style is not the right word, but, like, I think you know what I'm getting at, where it's like a traditional photographer might hinder this experience for video, right? And so what is your approach to that? I'm curious, maybe just, I guess, personally, I don't know. Like, on the photo side, how do you approach that to still capture what you want and what you need, but, like, allow this room to breathe and just have chaos, kind of?
Yeah. Regardless, I think it's, as a storytelling, like, they did a great job. There's so much, like, different, if you're watching this, like, this is what I want to do, maybe it is, but you got to be willing to do a lot of work to get to this point, and you got to be willing.
And you have to be willing to throw a lot of potential work aside.
Yes.
To really hone in on this.
But I think this is a payoff, and I want you to, like, have the payoff. I feel like, there's not a lot of couples like this out there, and the fact that you're able to secure them and make them happy is also a testament. Like, anytime you want to do niche work, the only way to do it is to be the best. This is what I tell people all the time. I say, like, do whatever you want. You're not that good, though. This is why I push people and say you're not that good. Because until you are very, very good, you're not going to be able to do anything that interesting. But like, if you get good, really good at creative direction, scheduling, shooting, editing, these are all the things they're good at. When you get good, you can do whatever you want. And I think that's the reason to focus on the fundamentals. And I think that they did that. And I love it. It's a beautiful film. It's a lot of fun. I'll give one critique, which is I did feel a little lost in the day. I had a hard time putting myself in the location. I think that wasn't the point. I think the point was much more of, like, a narrative built around them and their personalities, driven by the music, driven by the portraiture. And I'm okay with that. If they don't care that I felt lost, then I enjoyed the film thoroughly. But I did say, like, I was thinking, like, I kept saying something like, did they have a ceremony, or where was the ceremony, or what's going on here? I kind of felt a little disoriented, but I think that might have been the point. So it was great. I loved it.
So Max in chat saying this couple's hard to find, or this type of couple or whatever, but this is what we aim the brand at and preach of future couples on social media. This is our standard. And I think I hear what you're saying there, and I think I agree. This is your, like, shining star of a couple, right? This is your perfect couple, perfect client. But I think, just to, like, give you a little encouragement, I feel like I see this. I understand that you can only lean this far when you have the right couple, but I do see you being able to lean this direction with the other films that we've seen of yours too. Like, I get it. Not everyone is this, like, comfortable on camera and with each other and with themselves and down for anything and whatever. But I do think you pull a little extra out of your clients always based on the films I've seen. I think the only, I'm going to delete this. Please don't advertise on our channel. The only thing that was in my head while watching this that I would say is a, not even critique, but just a question maybe, is, like, I feel like the first, I don't know, half, maybe 4, 5 minutes, 3, 4, 5 minutes, somewhere in there, you probably know, is all this, like all these moments with a little bit of like moments from the wedding day, like outtake moments from the wedding day with some of this like engagement session and the boat. I don't know if that was the engagement session. It looked like a sunny day on the boat, so that looks like maybe something else. Woven in, and I didn't feel any like, I got an amazing capture of who they were, and they're silly and they're goofy and whatever, but I felt like there's space to add in something more, not meaningful. What's the word I'm looking for? Like
sentimental.
Maybe it's like with a little more like substance from the day. It was a lot of lighthearted joke, and I stuck my tongue in his mouth, and funny, and laughs, and like cute little vows that were also kind of funny, and like I get all that,
okay,
but...
so you're leading into something that I think is a question, and maybe the answer is no, but I do think Bobby and I are coming from a perspective of, I think, more of a traditional client, right?
Yeah, true, and that maybe the answer is.
And so when you watch it, you're thinking like, there's like, you know, like they call it comedic relief. This might have needed a little relief from comedy. Like,
yeah, maybe that's.
Like,
I just
like
felt like
you're building this tension, and there wasn't like a moment to really like, oh yeah, this is a wedding. And maybe that's on purpose, and maybe that's fine. But I do think maybe consider that. Like, how can you ground all this personality in a wedding a little more? Maybe that's what I was saying too.
I think that's the way I would phrase it. And Max saying, you know, they wanted the outtakes to be a focus. They aren't sentimental. They don't want to be romantic. And I think I don't think it needs to be sentimental or romantic. It just, I think grounding it is the right is maybe what I am getting at too.
Yeah.
And I love all this.
Yeah,
it's just
great.
like I wanted something.
It was so well executed.
Yeah. I don't know exactly how to put into words, but and it's such a like opinion, and also like do not let that detract from the fact that I think this film is very
well. And also, like, I really can't separate like what I think someone else is going to think about the film from what I think about the client. Like, for me, when I watch the film, I'm like, okay, does the client like it, and also is the next client going to like it? And I wonder, obviously, I think a lot of people wouldn't be attracted to being presented this way, but also kind of like,
that's what you want.
That's what they want. And also, like, when you can do it this well,
Max wants too.
Yes, when you could do it this well, why bother? So that's why I can't give it too much of a critique. I'm just telling, I'm watching it, I don't care either way, and I'm like a little bit confused what's going on sometimes, and that might not matter. And if it doesn't matter, that's the beauty of it. Is like, I seriously mean this. I'm not like, you need to make the film that you want to make to get the clients that you want to get. And this is a great success and a real triumph. And I feel like this represents you guys well. I wouldn't most likely really change a thing. I think you did it really, really well. And you guys should be proud of it.
Also, getting me to watch an 8-minute film that I'm like into the whole time is, that's a testament right there.
Yeah, it was really good. And I think they did a great job. And
yeah,
you know, I mean, you should be proud. And that's what it's all about here at Wedding Film School, is like being a part of the journey. Obviously, I don't take any credit for it whatsoever, but I do feel like I've gotten to watch. And I love that. I love that I've been able to like watch you guys grow. And from the time floating down the river in Austin to getting to see what you guys are doing, you should be proud.
Yeah. Well, with that said, we're going to call it a day here on Wedding Reviews at Wedding Film School Live, but we will be back next week at our standard.
Hey, we should mention our retreat.
Oh, yes. Go for it.
Hey, we are working on a retreat. We mean like a retreat, not a workshop. We want to take people to some beautiful location, have a couple of guided discussions, but primarily give people space to think. It's going to be called Clarity. We're looking at doing it I think the third week of February.
Sounds right.
19th?
President's Day weekend, or just after.
The week after Thanksgiving, the week after Valentine's Day, and probably a Monday through Wednesday. If you're interested in that, I would love you to head over to the Wedding Film School Facebook group We have a poll up there with some questions. We're looking at either like a super swanky location with like tickets to a jazz club and all this like high-end New York City stuff, or maybe something very nice in Boston, like at a Four Seasons hotel, but a much more affordable. The focus is on getting together with other filmmakers and talking about creative clarity, business clarity, what are our goals, and also, of course, space to think. Go out, go to get a massage, or sit somewhere and work on your spreadsheets, but go somewhere nice that you, if you want to stay in your hotel room, you want, and if you're interested in that, and you have time, and a couple grand, head over to Facebook and weigh in on the poll. Let us know, because we're going to kind of be basing it on what people are interested in, and we have a lot of options. So head over there.
Yeah. Love it.
That's it.
That's it. I got nothing else to add.
That's it. We have a great day, everybody.
Here. Yeah, we'll see you next week. And you can submit films starting now on our website, weddingfilm.school. Click on the live review tab, and we will see you in a week.
Bye.
Bye.